Hey YouTube, this is Amber from Trial and Error Fitness.
This is Rushabh, also from Trial and Error Fitness.
Today we want to discuss a question that is asked to us most often by people, which is can you lose fat and build muscle at the same time? Yes, it is possible. Many people think it's not possible to do so, but we made this video to show you why it is possible to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time.
First things first, let's speak about energy balance. Energy balance is basically your calories in versus calories out. Calories out is through exercise, training and working out basically. And calories in is through nutrition, through your food, through your supplements, etc. Now, every individual has their own level of maintenance calories daily every individual has their own level of daily maintenance calories at which you will maintain your current weight. So say if Amar is a person who weighs 90 kgs, is 6'3", how old are you?
21.
Don't lie.
22, almost 22.
He's 26 and he's male or female, and his activity level is say highly active, so about 5 times a week, let's say. His same maintenance comes up to 2800 calories. Now if he consumes 2800 calories, at this level he'll maintain his current weight. Now let's speak about how to lose fat and build muscle.
As Rushabh said, the calorie counting for each person is unique to that particular person and not to anyone else. You cannot use anyone else's maintenance calories to maintain your own weight, which is totally absurd. So in a fat loss phase, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So you need to eat lesser than your maintenance calories. And if you want to put on muscle, then you need to be on a calorie surplus. That means you're eating more calories than your body actually needs.
Now, yes, muscle building involves being in a surplus, but it's not the only way to build muscle. Like, being in a surplus is not the only way. However, if you want to lose fat, you have to be in a deficit. Now, as we said, being in a surplus does help build muscle, but it's not the only way. We'll explain why. As you know, you'll experience as a beginner, you notice a lot of gains in the first few months. Wonder why is that? It's because you put your body, you put your muscle and your cell fibers through you put your body and your muscle cells and fibers through tension by adding resistance or by lifting weights. Now, what the body sees this as threat. It wants to grow to make sure that it's better able to adapt to the stresses you place on it. So the first thing you want to do is lift weights. It can also be calisthenics. It's nothing like you just want to go to the gym. You can start by lifting weights or doing pull-ups and stuff, because that's going to add resistance. That's something that your body is not used to, and it's going to see it as a threat that I need to get bigger to be able to adapt to this. Second, you want to incorporate compound movements. Now, compound movements are exercises that involve the entire of your body, majorly. Almost all the
more than one muscle, which and your central nervous system gets most used in these movements. So you should start with these movements and always incorporate it, even if you're on a cut, bulk, or if your main aim is to lose fat and build muscle at the same time.
While performing compound movements, you want to stick to the strength training rep ranges, so that not so much that you stick to the 1 to 3 rep ranges or 3 to 5 even, probably 4 to 6, 5 to 7 rep ranges, so that you ensure that you're training for strength as well, enabling you to not lose your strength gain and helping you maximize muscle mass.
So at any point of your lifting of your fitness journey, these movements are your bread and butter.
The deadlift, the squat, the bench and the OHP. While lifting weights, as we said, the body sees it as threat. Now, if you're going to lift the same weight for a period of time, over 2 or 3 months or XYZ period, your body is going to get used to it. Now you need to place more stress. That's where progressive overload comes in. Adding more weight to the bar, or just adding more weight as you go up through your sets or in a particular exercise. That'll increase the tension that you place, that demand your body to grow even further.
So if your goal is to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, the third point is HIIT. You have to incorporate cardio into your weight training routine, and studies have shown that HIIT training over LIST training, which is high intensity training, also preserves muscle mass rather than doing steady state cardio or low intensity cardio.
We don't really believe that HIIT is the only way, or HIIT is the best sort of cardio. The best sort of cardio would be cardio that you like to do, because no one really likes cardio. So if you're on a bike, stationary bike, instead of cycling for around 145-60 minutes to burn that many calories, incorporate HIIT training, and then you can burn that calories in 20 to 25 minutes.
Yeah, you can. If you use a treadmill, it doesn't mean that would be a low intensity cardio, a form of cardio, because even if you're on a treadmill, you can go on a 20-second sprint and a 20-second break and a 20-second sprint and so on.
That's what.
So you can use any kind of cardio as HIIT and anything as LIST. So it's the way you do it that matters.
Now that we've spoken about building muscle, how you want to build muscle and preserve muscle through training. Now let's look at how do you want to lose fat. As we said earlier, fat loss comes through a calorie deficit. So the first thing you do want to do is incorporate a moderate calorie deficit.
So about 10 to 20% below your maintenance. And maintenance is what we discussed before.
So your starting point would be calculating your maintenance and then taking 10 to 20% off. Now out of that number that you get at, let's say Amber gets at 2500 calories. You want to split that into protein, carbs and fats. Those are the three macronutrients. Let's start with protein. Protein, what would you say? 1.2?
Yeah, 0.8 to 1.2.
Are the industry
depends.
averages.
Yeah.
But I think personally, and we feel that protein, since it's the most satiating macronutrient, it'll enable you to feel more full after your meals, and thus it'll help you not have as many food cravings as you would think, as you normally would. So keep it at a 1.2 to 1.4 per pound of your lean body weight. So if Amber is 90 kgs, his per pound will be what, 198. So he'll have about 198 into 1.2 to 1.4 pounds of protein, grams of protein.
So here we've written the second point would be the second point would be carb cycling. Now carb cycling would essentially mean keeping your other macronutrients, which is your proteins and your fats, constant throughout the week, and you want to cycle your carbs in a way that you take high carb days and you take low carb days. So during in the beginning of the week, you should be knowing which days you would have the most strenuous workouts. So on the most in the days you have the most strenuous workouts, you would keep your carbs at the highest, and the days where you have low intensity workouts, you would keep your carbs at the lowest. So you'd use your carbs, you basically consume carbs when you need it the most.
So what we are doing by carb cycling here is restricting carbs. This is not because we hate carbs or we think that carbs are the bad macronutrient or something. It's because since you want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, your diet, studies show that having high carb, high protein diet does result in weight loss as a result of fat loss, but also muscle loss. Our aim here is to preserve as much muscle as possible. Now when you restrict your carbs, what's going to happen is your body is going to look to find fuel. Carbs are your first source of energy, primary source of energy. Now the body is going to look to find fuel from other parts. First, it's going to come through fats. So when you restrict your carbs, the body has to look to fat to fuel your workouts or your daily activities. When it does that, it's going to enable you to burn fat. So what you're doing here is you're tapping into a fat burning mechanism by restricting the body's first source of energy.
Here carb cycling and even restricting carbs does not mean you do not have carbs, because you need to, the fact that we're restricting carbs here is because we want to use it at a time when the body needs it the most, and reducing your carbs to a very low, to a very restricting limit for a long period of time will affect your performance inside and outside the gym. So carbs is one of the most important even when you're losing fat.
Very important for the brain.
For some of you, these numbers might be really confusing at the moment if you're starting out, but counting calories is the most important thing to do when you start off. If you start off, or even if you're 1 year in, 2 years, and if you don't see results, it's probably because you're not counting your calories. Eating a lot is not something that is quantifiable, because it's not accurate enough to get your results.
We've seen drastic changes in the body ever since we started counting calories. Ever since it's like you start paying attention to detail. If you're gonna want to get better at something, you gotta do things correctly. You gotta do things in the right manner. Counting calories and keeping a track of what you eat and what you do in the gym is highly important.
So after all of this, I think it is inaccurate to say that it is not at all possible to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. We have given you a few points here in terms of diet and training, and if you use these, it is definitely possible, and there is a way to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time.
You must have heard from a lot of if you are one of them who's looking to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, you must have heard from a lot of people that it's not. Sorry, I'll slow down. You must have heard that it's not possible after a certain time of you lifting, or if you get more experience as you lift, and it's more possible in gifted athletes or this and that. While some of that may hold true, you'll never know unless you try it out for yourself. That's why it's all about trial and error, and that's why we are here for you.
Guys, if you've reached this far in the video, please do comment below, as you're going to read each and every comment, and please like, share and subscribe to our channel. We'll be coming out with a lot more videos like this to solve a lot of your problems. If you have any questions below, just please comment, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Got it?